There you go. Got a head start. That's all
Yeah.
good.
Cool. I guess we'll just start off with like, how'd you hear the news, and then kind of your first initial twinge or reaction?
Um, right before I was leaving for the field today, I had saw, I think maybe Wilson Alexander had put it on his Twitter that there was some rumblings, and I felt like it was one of those things that people were kind of talking about a little bit throughout the season. I saw like Mascana kind of talk about it a little bit, but I mean, you kind of take all that with a grain of salt. But then um, once I got to the field, I checked my phone right before we went out to throw, and they had said that it was official that coach had come out with his announcement. So, um, you know, it's it's just kind of weird, I guess. But at the end of the day, man, like I know he's gone through so much the last few years with the neck issues. Um, I still don't think people really know how much pain he was. I mean, it's been 2 years since I've been there, and I know in 2019 he was really struggling with it. I think he's at this point it's been 2 or 3 surgeries and of him trying to get that corrected. And with his father passing away in 2019, I know that really took a toll on him. And, at the end of the day, man, I mean, that's what he's done in college baseball. That it's a Hall of Fame career. There's nothing left for Paul Mainieri to do in college baseball. Nothing at all. I mean, he has won everywhere he's been. He's been in the College World Series countless times, won a national championship, runner up. It's the SEC tournament is now known as the Paul Mainieri Invitational. So, I mean, and with all the stuff that came on the field, it's what his impact was away from the field, I think is going to speak even more volumes. I mean, the news has only broke for a few hours, and you're already seeing all these guys get on Twitter and talk about how big of an impact Coach Mainieri's legacy was on them, and what a crucial part he played in the development of their life. And to me, that speaks volumes of who he was, not only as a coach, but who he was as a mentor. He was a father figure to me and so many other guys that played underneath him. So for me, I'm happy to see him go out on his own terms. I think his decision I think was probably made to make him the happiest and for quality of life. So, man, I'm so proud of what he's done, and I'm just happy to see him get his quality of life, continue to get a better quality of life, and have his respects paid to him, as they're very well deserved, because he's done a lot for LSU and the Louisiana community in a whole. So it's good for everybody to pay homage to that.
It's been like memory lane for me today, like just talking to all of his former players, a good number of them, and different stories. Like either like he got after me at the SEC tournament and he ripped me to shreds and then told me to go back out there and pitch another inning, or it was like, hey, this is the life lesson that he passed along to me in this critical moment. I'm sure you've got a myriad of Paul Mainieri stories, but what do you have one that kind of sticks out?
I don't know if I have one story with me and Coach, and there's just a few that I will always kind of keep personal between me and him. But I think when I think of my career at LSU and my relationship with Coach rode with me through like a lot of highs and lows. And I would say during my time under Coach, I really kind of found my identity as a pitcher during my time at LSU. I found out, kind of who I was a little bit, and that was all under Coach Mainieri. And I would say the biggest thing that he did for me, man, was that guy always made me feel like I could accomplish anything. That is the biggest thing. Is I think it's a testament to how loyal he is to his guys. If you are, at the end of the day, Coach Mainieri is a really simple guy. If you work hard and you care, he's going to ride with you, and he will go to the ends of the earth with you. And man, he did that with me. He always was right there by my side, whether it was going good, whether it was, going not so good. He was always there with me. He was so fiercely loyal to me. And he just made me feel like I could do anything, man. And so many of those lessons and that belief that he instilled in me that, hey, man, there's no mountain in this game that you can't conquer. As a young kid from a small town in Virginia, you come to the monster that is LSU, and then you're able to play for a guy that has that type of confidence in you. I mean, that does a lot for you. And that having him as a mentor, especially during the early parts of my career there, I mean, that's, a lot of that stuff is stuff that I have carried with me over into pro ball. And those lessons that he taught me is, things that I look back on every single day. And it's, what a lot of times keeps me going in professional baseball. So definitely don't think that, I'm where I'm at without Coach Mainieri.
Well, obviously the memory that a lot of LSU fans, and this is kind of flashing back for me too, is, showing up to the yard in, somewhere near Omaha, and, you've got the Wild thing going on, and, everyone's kind of getting behind that. I mean, do you remember, just for kicks and giggles, do you remember CPM's reaction to the haircut and some of those things?
Well, I think he didn't really even pay attention to mine because I was still a freshman. So he was kind of more concerned with some of what the older guys was. I think I tried to do a little bit of a better job concealing mine. And then once he saw Kramer's blonde hair at breakfast, that just like put him, he just got tunnel vision the rest of the day. So I was completely, not even on his radar at that point. So he was just so concentrated on that. I think we played the whole game before he even found out that I did that. I think someone like said it to him like a post game, like, "Oh, what'd you think of like Hess's haircut?" And he was like, "I didn't. What'd he get?" So, yeah. So I think Kramer probably saved me on that.
And I'll let you get out of here, but I guess just when you kind of reflect on legacy or kind of anything else that you want to add as far as Paul Mainieri, he's just like I've been telling everyone all day. He's just like a coach I've never ever covered before. He treats the media, he treats the groundskeeper, he treats his starting pitcher all pretty much the same. And I just keep telling if he was around and I had kids, I would want them to play for him. I mean, where do you just kind of tie a bow on his legacy at LSU?
Man, I think you kind of just said it right there. It's, he does, it doesn't matter who you are. He treats people based on who they are as a person. And it didn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are. It's who you are as a person that matters to him. And that goes for when you play underneath him too. It was never good enough to just go out on a field and, perform and be a rock star on the baseball field. You had to do it away from the field too. You had to do it in the classroom. You had to do it in the community. You had to do it in your relationship with other people. And if you weren't getting it done there, then you weren't meeting expectations in his eyes. I don't even know if he remembers this, but I remember I was pitching. We were kind of getting into the postseason my freshman year, and we were like shagging batting practice. And I was, to be honest with you, I was kind of doing a half-assed job shagging, and was just, kind of messing around with some of the other guys. He pulled me aside and he kind of ripped into me a little bit and said, that's not, who do you think you are, doing that? So it didn't matter that I was pitching well or was performing. It's how he was a big believer in how you do anything is how you're going to do everything. So that's the biggest thing for me. If, like you said, if I'm a father and, I'm trying to figure out where I want to send my son to go play college baseball, I want my son to play for a guy like Coach Mainieri, I know he's going to make him a better baseball player, but more importantly, he's going to make him a better person. And I think you see that with a lot of his former players. He's got a lot of guys that are playing in the big leagues, playing in pro ball, but even the guys that aren't, they're lawyers, they're doctors, they're, great husbands and fathers, and they're just winners in life. So I I think when you look at the bigger picture of the impact that he's made, it goes far beyond the baseball field, man. It goes into life. And, a lot of guys owe a lot of the positive things that have happened in their life to Coach Mainieri.